what kind of horror and scares can you expect in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness? Well, the Scarlet Witch herself, Elizabeth Olsen, says you can expect jump scares. Yay. Jump scares made for tweens. Okay, to be fair, I'm gonna be real with you. I don't know if they're gonna be obviously targeting the young demographic with a cheap, pop scare that's like, oh, loud noise, somebody in a mirror, ooh. I personally hate that. I've always hated that. I've talked about it here. I just think it's stupid. I also think, like, grotesque horror and, like, mutilation for the sake of it is also stupid. Like, cerebral build-up, fear of the unknown type of horror is more my thing. Building up a tense scene with lighting, the mood it sets, the soundtrack, the camera work. To me, that's horror. That gets me way more into whatever film I'm watching than a cheap scare. But hey, we don't know how they're going to do it. I get it, though. If you want a cheap pop scare, you just toss something onto, the movie that's a loud banging noise and somebody shows up out of nowhere in a split second. It's like, here we go. So Elizabeth Olsen did tease that there's going to be tension. There's going to be some very tense scenes. That there's going to be some scenes that are very different in nature compared to everything else we've seen in the MCU. That there's also going to be some frightening scenes. But also, yeah, there's going to be a good jump scare moment. Maybe even more than one. So, what exactly could this mean? Well, to me, it sounds like, maybe this is just me interpreting it this way, but that they're going to try to do a little bit of everything. Do a little bit of that jump scare. Do a little bit of that maybe, that's kind of gross type of scenario. Obviously, we see her with like half her face or whatever, and the zombie effect, right? Obviously, building up tension. And probably some form of like mind manipulation, torture is probably expected. So it sounds like they're kind of going to do what Sam Raimi does, and that's, well, bend and blend horror genres and themes all into one another. And I will say I would personally just hate if it was just like a cheap jump scare or two, because to me that's just the lowest common denominator type of factor when it comes to anything scary. But again, I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. To me personally, I do think if they can just nail the storytelling and nail how they land those jump scares, it's fine. It'll be good. But I hate it when that's like the crux of what is scary, right? You guys remember those old Paranormal Activity movies? It's like, what was the scary thing? When it's a silent scene and then the door slams real hard and something is right up against the camera. Oh, okay, well, you only did it because I was invested into the slow scene with nothing and then suddenly a loud noise and something, right? That's not scary. It's a pop, right? It's kind of lazy. I just hope there's not too much of that. Sounds like there won't be from different, interviews we've seen. But hey, let's hope that they didn't cut out the rest of this stuff and that's how those interviews reflect the old cuts of the film, because that would be terrible.